Hey YouTube, how's it going? Well, here we are, the second day of October, and we're continuing on our fate-filled trip towards Halloween. And let's see, who knows what fate or whatever will await us along the way. And I got to thinking, sort of, kind of, Halloween-related-ish kind of thing. And, you know, it's like yesterday I was talking about horror movies, and I got to thinking about some of the first scary movies that I ever remember seeing. And honestly, I am putting scary movies in air quotes here because, well, let's face it, they're not all that scary anymore, are they? I mean, in a world where people consider Freddy Krueger to be old hat and sort of kind of funny, but, you know, he's so 1980s and all that. Things like Frankenstein, the 1931 Boris Karloff Frankenstein. That was one of my early so-called scary movies. It had its scary moments at the time, though. And I can't say what order I saw these in. I can't say how old I was when I saw them. I know I was less than 10 years old. That I'm certain of. And, you know, because back then I didn't really think that much about how old I was. You know, that's a thing that you think about more and more. The older you get, the more you think about how old you are. Absolutely. Although, honestly, I don't think about it that much now. Anyway, at least I don't think so. But I know these movies I saw when I was very young. That Frankenstein movie, the first big one with Boris Karloff, and it was released in 1931. There was Son of Frankenstein. There was Bride of Frankenstein, and there was at least 3 or 4 more, and at some point there was, you know, like Frankenstein meets the Wolfman, and Frankenstein and Dracula, and all that. And then there was Abbott and Costello meet Frankenstein, which was really kind of stupid. But anyway, okay, in the same era, we have Bela Lugosi's Dracula. A really classic thing. Yes, it was campy and overacted as all get out. I know it was. But it was good. And when you were less than 10 years old seeing it for the first time, it scared the poop out of you. It was just that kind of thing. It introduced to you the concept of something that could turn into a wisp of smoke and come in through your window. And, you know, because, you know, since then they had the thing that the vampire had to be invited to come into your home. But in that original Dracula movie, I don't remember him having to have an invitation. And I have seen it since then. A few months ago, in fact. He didn't have to have an invitation to get into Mina Harker's room. No. He just did his wisp of smoke thing, or his bat thing, and just went right on in there, just as easy as can be. Nobody had to invite him in. He just went right on in. That invitation thing came later. Anyway, other movies of note from that era. A big one that influenced me a lot, because I remember I actually had a nightmare or two about this one. And that was a 1950-something or other B movie called Earth versus the Spider. And this features as its main villain a giant spider. As in, the thing's actual main body was bigger than a locomotive. And then, of course, the legs splay out even farther, and so you've got something really freaking huge, and it's like makes a spider web through a whole freaking forest all at once and stuff like that. I don't remember the details. I honestly don't remember the last time I saw it, but when I first saw it, yes, I did have a nightmare or two about that one. And then there was things like the Blob. And I'm talking about the original version of the Blob with a very young Steve McQueen in it in 1950 something. Yeah, that was really good. And there's a whole bunch, and if I sat here talking about classic horror movies that I loved, I'd be here for another hour and a half. And I've already been yapping for 6 minutes almost, so I think it's time for me to say thanks for watching. Take it easy. I am out of here.
Here's the TinFoilChef.